LS made a video on C9, suffering from the 5 minutes of doom problem. Okay, let's hear LS on our draft.
Dom tells me Vi is just op thoughts. No, Vi's bad. Vi is bad. Here's what I think. I think if you had Worlds situation unfold and you had the top 4 teams play 100 games against each other on a tournament setting, not scrim setting, etc., I think everyone would suddenly start not wanting Vi. She is one-dimensional. She is telegraphed. Everything that she does is... She doesn't have options. She's not the same as, like, Jarvan, right? That has utility. Like, Jarvan...
Whoa, Jarvan is a way worse champion than Vi. Jarvan is a way worse champion than Vi. I mean, the thing about Vi is, like, Vi has a way lower cooldown dash that also gives you a shield and also has more direct combat power. So a champion like Vi is significantly better than a champion like Jarvan in most situations, right? Jarvan is a hyper niche champion that is essentially only good versus like in pro play versus champions that have no dashes. So yes, if you see that the enemy team has like Jhin locked in and has, you know, Jhin locked in and they have a Victor, whatever, you can potentially go Jarvan. But the problem with Jarvan is that Jarvan is also significantly weaker than Vi in skirmishes and like 1v1s and stuff like that. Like Vi just has more HP because of the blast shield. Vi has more reliable CC because Jarvan's CC is all like flashable, right? Like you flash out of the ult, you can flash the combo. Whereas Vi can just always press R on you, and if you're in a skirmish, you can R first, then Q, and then Vi provides way more. So like I think Vi is just straight up OP. I think Vi is just straight up an OP champion because you can do so much more. Like I actually view it the opposite. I think you can do so much more with Vi in a game than you can with Jarvan because Vi has the ability to play on sides easier, has the ability to skirmish easier. Like Jarvan skirmishing is unreliable. Like we said, you can dodge EQ, you can flash EQ. Like Vi can Q flash you and then you get the damage. The problem with Jarvan is you can EQ flash, but if you EQ flash on Jarvan, you don't get the damage, right? So if you like outplay somebody or you're trying to like cut your animation to guarantee you hit it by flashing, then you don't get damage. You only get CC on Jarvan, and then you just don't have the ability to kill people. So I think Jarvan is way worse champion than Vi. Like, I don't even think they're in the same tier. Like, I would say that Jarvan's I think Vi is an S tier champion, like an OP S tier champion, and I think Jarvan's like a B tier champion.
He can go in, he can engage. He can also do a lot of disruption and stuff. You can make the argument that like she can play like defensive lineman and like do all this other type of shit, but she just can't. Not as well as some other things. Imagine.
I mean, that is true. She can't do that as well as some other things. The difference with Vi is that you are good at so many things. Like Jarvan can't block a flanker 1v1, right? Like a Vi with 2 items can 1v1 almost anyone. Like that's not designed to 1v1. Obviously there's limitations if they have like a Jax or Fiora or something like that, or like a Renekton with ult. There's stuff like that. But Vi has so much like engage plus the ability to then like kite afterwards because you have CC and you knock somebody back and you get like blast shield and you buy like Sundered Sky, you buy like Sundered Sky Cleaver. You have a bunch of items that give you ability haste throughout the game. Like it's very hard to deal with a Vi because she's so mobile. She's actually, I think she's more disruptive than Jarvan because she has like, you know, her Q and her ult. Like her ult is a full team CC if you ult somebody in the backline. Like I think Vi is just a disgusting champion. I think the champion's so OP.
Imagine if we're doing letter grades. If you only see things at an A tier grade, then I think the perception that Vi is good is, I think that's fine. If you see what is possible or what should exist, then I think that you see that Vi is bad. Now, if you're choosing Vi and you know that she's a dog awful champion, but you know that you're intentionally abusing the level of players that you're playing against, then that's different, right? But
the problem, okay, I'll explain my full position on Vi. Vi theoretically should be counterable because of weaknesses in Vi's kit, but not related to like how she fights, more related to the way that like the way that she plays. Her level 1 is bad, for example, right? Her level 1 is really bad. So you have to be creative level 1 to get away with it, or you need to pick strong lane so that Vi is able to get through level 1. The problem with League of Legends right now is that clear speed doesn't actually end up mattering that much. You can't just pick a fast clear jungler. Like it used to be that in season 6, if you picked a fast clear jungler and the other guy didn't pick a fast clear jungler, you would naturally be up just 30 CS because you had so many camps to farm, and you would be 3 levels up, 2 levels up. There was more experience in the game. Less catch-up experience in the game. You'd be 2-3 levels up. You'd be significantly stronger. The problem right now is that Vi, even if it's weak level 1, even if you get only 3 camps and the enemy jungler gets 9 camps, because of how League of Legends works now, you're still going to be able to play the game. You probably have to give first Drake, give first Grubs, and then on your next rotation, once you're level 6, like, you're going to be like half a level down, bro. You're going to be like half a level down, maybe one level down. Like, it's going to be manageable. You're going to be able to play the game. So, like, the weakness of Vi is not even a weakness of the game, which is part of like the reason why a lot of the champions, like a lot of the things that I disagree with LS on is based on how I actually think the game is balanced, not like theory. Like, artillery should be good into a champion like Azir, right? Like, I understand that Xerath should be good into Azir, but the way the game is balanced with everyone having TP and everyone having so much sustain naturally in their kits from, like, you know, absorb life existing, and like, people can take second wind, and they can take Doran shield, they can take fleet forward, because you have so much access to sustain. Being poked in lane is not actually like viable, and you can get through the lane, like, as a human being versus another human being, you can get through the lane pretty easily, like, and then once you get out of that part of strength, you have so many more options to do stuff in the game. Like, Azir could go to a side lane and actually start pushing, and then Xerath has to just like perma group mid, or if she's in a side lane, or if Xerath is in a side, is Xerath a guy or a guy? I don't know. If Xerath is in a side lane, the team has to be hovering, warding constantly. You have to put so many resources into making sure that Xerath can just farm, that you open yourself up to so many different things. One of the reasons why Azir is such a great champion, the reason that Azir is first picked, is your lane is fine into everything. Your lane is literally fine into everything. Your side laning is good. You have mobility, so you're hard to gank. You have good frontline DPS. You have the ability to engage or disengage in team fights based on what the situation is. You have flexible builds. Like, other champions are locked into mana items. Almost every other mage in the game has to buy mana, right? You have to buy some form of mana items. Azir could just rush an Asher's Tooth. So sure, maybe you're like a little bit weaker when you come back and you're on a f***ing blasting wand or whatever, and the other guy's on, you know, like, he's building, you know, Lost Chapter. Maybe you're a little bit weaker at that point, but once you get Asher's Tooth, you're fine in the game. So the reason why these champions are OP is because of how the game is designed, not because there's like some inherent kit advantage they have. It's because of a bunch of design things that Riot has done to make the game easier to play. Like, for example, Vi is good because Riot made jungle more forgiving because they wanted more people to jungle, so they made it a less punishing role. They made it more and more forgiving. They made it like, they changed jungle to be extremely streamlined. Like I said, very, very forgiving. You get more experience. It's harder to get completely shat on in the jungle. And then Vi is just able to get to the point where she can be Vi. Like, she has so much armor shred on her W. She has the ability to 1v1 people in fights. She has so much sustain, effective sustain from Sundered Sky, from shielding. Like, there's just so much in her kit that you get later on, and you don't have to go through the bullshit, the hard part that should exist. You know, like, theoretically, you should be able to play something like Graves into Vi and like walk in level 1, take their fucking red, just abuse your level 1, you know, go back to your red, defend it with the Vi, make sure that the Vi is behind. But you do this, like, try doing this in a real game. Try doing this in like a high level game versus like a challenger jungler. You'll notice that it's like, I'm not even that far ahead, bro. It's like, at the end of this shit, I just like outpath you for 5 minutes, and my advantage is I am like level 8 when you're level 7 and I have a longsword on you, and then you just pressed R on me and I got one shot. Like, it feels horrible to play this style. You have to do so much work, and the game has to go so perfectly for you to not even get a tangible advantage.
Those people saying that Vi are good aren't saying that. They're legitimately saying that Vi is good. And that's a different thing. In terms of draft, I mean, this is pretty bland on both.
And then also, like, here's something that's good with like the way that we drafted, right? So you have Vi, but you don't have a situation where Vi needs to run into the enemy team to engage. And also, the Azir's range is balanced with Varus. I mean, this is just OP, bro. If you can get Vi, Azir, Varus, this is just an OP draft. Like, almost every team will take this because you have all your bases covered. You have a champion that's strong early game. So normally, when you have a strong early game champ, it's going to be harder to invade the Vi. Like, all of them cover each other, and all of them pair together so well. So it's like, most teams will just take this. You give this to FlyQuest, they'll just take this, you know?
Both sides. There's no like real,
even though they're more of like the defensive team, like they want to be defensive. The thing is, like, there's nothing that forces Vi to go in, you know? Like, it's very rare that you can build a comp where Vi is useless, but also the rest of your team is useless. You know, like, I feel like that's also a problem with your later on picks. When you're drafting, right, you're drafting in order of when you're picking the champions. You're not just arbitrarily like choosing 5 champions versus 5 champions. Like, you have to draft in the order of the drafting process. So picking a champion like Vi, you can compensate for whatever deficiencies you might have in your team comp later on. That's more of the problem than the first pick Vi. Like, I mean, I don't think you always need to first pick Vi. There's times where you can pick other champions if you want to go in a different direction. But the champion is definitely a good champion.
Which draft do I like? I think they're both pretty even. And what I mean by that is they're both pretty bad. Like there's
I feel like our draft is so much better than their draft. Like when I look at this, it's like they have frontline that is going to get like they drafted Scion blind, and then we have just having a Azir to get through it. So we don't have any problem killing tanks. They don't have enough of a reliable way to set up the Neferi to actually pop off. Like Neferi is a champion that needs a lot of setup. It's just like a cleanup champion, essentially. A glorified cleanup champion. And here's one thing. Renekton scales absurdly well throughout this game.
There's no identity really to either draft. You could argue that C9's has like an engage identity, but realistically, it's just it's a combination of like perceived good champions plus some okay like good like Varus is good, sure. Azir is like a perceived good champion, even though I don't think you should ever be able to blind pick this champion in a million years when like Ziggs, Xerath and like these types of champions exist. But people stop playing.
I mean, look, we literally picked. By the way, Ziggs is open. We're playing against the best Ziggs player in the world. Ziggs is open, and they took Talia over Azir. Like they took Talia, but yeah.
Xerath, I don't know why. I actually
like we didn't blind Azir here. Number one, they picked Talia, so we didn't blind it. So I don't think he's saying that we're blinding it. I'm not sure if he's saying that we're blinding it, but I don't think that that's like the argument. But we didn't blind it here. But even if we did blind Azir, there's a high chance that APA would just go Talia anyway, because if you play Ziggs into Azir and the enemy team has a champion like Vi, it's very hard to play Ziggs because what's the counter to artillery? It's champions like Vi that can just press R on you. And then everyone just flies in and you just die. You know, you just get like one time a Renekton flanks, has a ward somewhere, Vi just presses R on you, your whole game is over.
Actually don't know why people... Xerath,
Best Ziggs in the world? Yeah, he's literally the best Ziggs player in the world. I don't even think this is debatable. Who else is a close to as good middle Ziggs player as APA?
If both of these drafts had a letter grade, I would probably say that they're both like B+. Actually, no. C9's is probably like an A-.
Why does he say our draft is bad then? I don't get it. Because like A- sounds like a pretty good draft. The way that I perceive drafts is a lot based on what you're playing into. Like I think that the fundamental reason that I normally don't agree with LS on drafts is I think I care way more about lanes than LS does. Like I care way more about how the lanes match up. Like for example, like this is not even a shot to LS or anything, but I've seen a lot of times where LS will advocate for drafts where they have like 3 losing lanes, and that's something that fundamentally I just think that it's like unplayable if you have three losing lanes. Like I care a lot about how the lanes match up into the other lanes and like the champions that you're playing, and I feel like you need to have a combination of like winning lanes, losing lanes in order to even be able to navigate the early game. And I think it's extremely I think it's borderline impossible to navigate the early game when you don't have winning lanes somewhere. So like that, I mean, this is one of the fundamental reasons that I have disagreed with LS about Renekton being like a bad champion. Like when Renekton was at its peak, he would always say it was bad. The reason that I think it's good is because, I mean, also it probably comes from the fact that I watch a league primarily that has a ton of activity. So I'm probably more aware of like some of the like unique setups you can have with champions. Like I'm somebody who's really into like creating an impossible situation for the enemy team. So if you like, I don't think Renekton Nidalee is always bad. I don't really like Nidalee as a champion. Like people know this, but if there's a Renekton Nidalee angle where Renekton has a winning lane, plus you have a Nidalee, and you have like a guaranteed situation where your jungle is going to be able to push the enemy jungler out. He's going to force a map split or a vertical jungle situation, and the Nidalee is going to be able to dive, no counterplay with a Renekton that can like stack 3-4 waves, flash W, Nidalee spears, they kill the person. I think that draft is going to have such an advantage in the game because they're going to be able to develop such a reliable lead that they essentially shouldn't lose. It's on them f***ing up at that point in order to lose. So these are things that I just like care about a lot in Pro League. Also, Renekton just scales better than it used to. So it's like a game like this, Renekton actually scales really well throughout this game. Like there's not going to be a point where Renekton really becomes weaker than Neferi in any type of reasonable situation. So yeah.
Not in terms of draft quality, but in terms of like draft strength relative to enemy team. I think like TLs is like one of the worst things that you can ever have. You have Talia, who's just like a bastard champion until 4 items. You have Jhin, who's fake. You have modern Neferi, and then you have a random Scion that doesn't have proper carries. It's just really strange. Yeah, Xerath's in his best spot ever, yeah. Xerath's lack of mobility is a turnoff. Yeah, I guess that might be it. Dragon's coming up.
Yeah, that's big. Like, that's a really big one.
TL really need to win this dragon. Dude, by the way, is it not crazy that we yapped for like in 15 minutes? Nothing's happened in the game, by the way? This is really great.
Draft reliability and executability, especially in a region like NA, is kind of important. I mean, it's important in every region.
This is really good.
It's like Asian regions care even more about this than NA technically. Like if you go through LPL drafts and LCK drafts, they are very strong on having reliable executable drafts that are going to be fine in most situations. I mean, just look at how Genji drafts, man. Like, just look at how Genji drafts.
Hold on, guys. The dragon's gonna go down. We're gonna have 5 minutes of doom. Are you guys ready? Nice.
Oh, we don't have 5 minutes of doom.
You know what? You know why the 5 minutes of doom stopped? Or, like, it started happening more frequently, by the way, is because teams started nay-ramming less. It's like they finally realized the nay-ram is actually just not super great. How tall am I? 179 centimeters. 5'11". Here we go. Yep, five minutes of doom, baby. Here we go. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Drake's about to go down. All right, guys. 5 minutes of doom again.
I think we won the whole game in the next 5 minute segments.
I think Varus has a lot. Who do you think has the better scaling? I think in the context of the game, I think it's C9. Just because basically Team Liquid are all short range. And so I think Varus has a lot of value in that regard. Also Azir, right? And then I think Renekton, as he becomes tankier, it becomes more problematic for Talia and
good. I like that. I mean, it's essentially Renekton scales well in this game.
And for Jhin. And then I think that at 2 items forward, Naafiri doesn't really get much stronger, but Vi's role remains the same.
No. Well, Naafiri gets significantly stronger. Naafiri is probably, in my opinion, the strongest jungler in the game when it comes to pure scaling. As you get more and more items, you become more and more insane to the point where like the champion just becomes the strongest jungler in the game. Vi scales really well for a jungler. Naafiri outscales Vi. Yeah, I think LS and I disagree. It would be really good content if I just argued with LS, because I feel like a lot of people don't like the idea of arguing their points. But I mean, there's nothing that I would like debate more in more detail in my entire life than League of Legends, right? Like I've dedicated my entire life to this game. So like my opinions, I've thought about all my opinions that I hold. It's not like if LS challenges any of them, I won't have like my own responses, which I don't think like means that I'm right or anything, but it's just like I can explain to him why I hold all the positions I hold.
Game's over. C9's gonna 3-0 them. C9's gonna 3-0 them. Umti's gonna be brought back in for game 3.
Hey, based! Actually based.
Kappa. I mean,
oh, you said a Kappa.
Do I notice anything that Dom has done with C9? No, of course not. But it's fine though. Dom's not an innovator. He doesn't innovate. We have B1's in, and
I don't know what that means, because like I've innovated like a lot of stuff in League, but sure.
This is another thing. Xin is
like I was like probably the first person to bring like Pantheon jungle into the meta. I was one of the first people to bring Wukong and like play like these types of champions on stage, but sure.
2 different champions. I don't know how to articulately describe this in like simplistic ways. Xin with enchanters is, I mean,
but to be honest, like I think that LS, like I think the big difference between me and LS is I think that LS doesn't see a lot, like he views the game very like champions versus champions, and he doesn't actually, like in my opinion, I think like if I were to say what I think he lacks is like understanding of like precise like mid-game movements as a team, and like understanding how to like shift pressure from like one part of the map to the other, like control around certain like areas, like the best way to like vision control certain areas, or how you can manipulate the enemy team into like doing things that you want them to do. And I would say that that's like one of the things that I really like think about deeply. So I feel like we just have like way different strengths in terms of, well, number one, I also just think that the drafts are just different. Like I just see the game completely different to LS, to be honest.
I've said it before, right? He's different with enchanters versus when he's just an AD stick that has his like individual kit. When he has enchanters, it's like he's a different beast because he gets so many more options in a fight, because he has such long range with like wind becomes lightning and like approach options and CC with his knockup.
Freezing doesn't work anymore. They changed the way minions work. I mean, you can still freeze, but it's like a 1 minute thing. You're not freezing for like an unlimited amount of time. You're freezing for like one minute or something.
I mean, yes, you can have Galio, which is like a pseudo enchanter, in that it, I guess it enchants and engage. I mean, C9 just has better scaling right now. Skarner, Rumble, Corki, and Ezreal. And they're gonna go Sivir. Oh, they're gonna go what? Oh, okay, Smolder. Okay. Braum. What the Please punish this. Why are we picking Alistar? This is disturbing. This is actually disturbing. That they can't punish Braum. Braum is actually allowed to be blind picked here and go unpunished. This is so weird. I guess, yeah.
I mean, what does he want us to punish Braum with here? that's also like good with Ezreal, and that is going to punish a Braum blind when they ban out Karma, Bard, and like Nico's already banned. Like, I think that Braum should not be an issue in this game. Like, I don't know why Braum would be an issue in this game. Like, when I saw this draft, I think that our draft is mega winning again. Okay, okay, we want Janna. Why do we want Janna in this game? Like, I feel like Janna just adds a bunch of risk to the game that is unnecessary for not much gain. Like, I don't think a Janna is good here at all. Like, I think that you want something that has possibility to engage. I think you need something that has CC to set up things like Skarner. If we don't have a champion that has CC here, then Skarner is trying to drive in alone, and you're just only playing off like Corki, Ezreal. Alistar could do so much in this game to make it so the enemy team can't play.
I mean, he's not going to be able to play most.
Actually, Zyra, why do you want Zyra? The enemy team doesn't even have champions that are susceptible to Zyra. Like, they have one champion that is bad into Zyra, which is Xin, and that's like not even really bad into Zyra. Smolder can take TP. People can get through lanes. They can lane swap at 4 minutes. Like, they can bring their bot lane. They can overload. Like, I don't know. I just think that there's no reason to play to hard punish a Braum and go up like 10 CS in lane as opposed to picking something that's actually going to make the comp functional.
Mage supports, right? Because it's Vulcan.
Enchanters are more useful than Ali. Enchanters are horrible in this game. Why do people think enchanters are good in this game? Do we want to play a game where like Smolder is just like sitting at his turret, we go up 2 plates, and then the Smolder just is like, in fights we just don't have an ability to like actually fight them. We have no ability to make picks. Like, why would we want an enchanter in this game? An enchanter would be terrible in this game.
Maybe that's actually the problem. Vulcan can't play anything that's not Bruiser engaged supports. Anyways, this game...
His best champion is Bard, but yeah.
Dude, we're in perma 5 minutes of doom! I can't. I'm gonna crash out. All right, guys, here we go. 5 minutes. 5 minutes is up. I'm so fucking ready.
Like, okay, imagine we have a Janna in this situation, right? Then we're just playing a perma standoff. Ezreal would probably have prio on midway, but we're just playing a perma standoff.
Oh, that was big! It was big by C9. Big! Get... Oh my god, that was good. Now the dragon's gone.
I mean, this is just stuff that like I care about, where I feel like LS just doesn't care about stuff like this. Like, things about like which points are you going to control on the map? Like, how are you going to like draw your line in the sand? Where are you going to fight from? How are you going to get angles on the enemy team? Like, this is like the stuff that I really care about.
5 more minutes of doom. Okay.
And to be honest, after watching Ellis's content for a while, I feel like he doesn't care about setups. Like, he just doesn't. He like views it as like players should just know all setups and all different situations, which I think is like, yeah, which I think is just not how the game works. And like, they should just be able to do it. Like, how often do we hear about like a setup or like a vision or like a ward scheme or something like this, you know?
Okay. UG? Oh, Jesus, dude. Jesus. Okay, I mean, they trade Loki. I mean, C9 are up 3k. I think the game is kind of doomed. Ezreal and Corki are going to both have their tier completed by 3rd Drake fight. I think the Herald's not worth losing the game over, but I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, go get another drink. Yeah. A lot of these kills just happened by randomness, by the way, because they were like overforced and like mechanical errors. Like,
no, not at all. Well, oh, he skipped the 3 kills we got topside in the video. In the video, it doesn't show the 3 kills we got topside.
Okay.
I mean, this is all... I mean, the reason why this is bad by Thanatos is we have full information that Braum is moving here. We have full information that Braum is moving because he just moved off the midwave. And we're trying to do Herald because it's 15 minutes. We're stronger, like C9 stronger. So we're going to go Herald. And then because we're going Herald, TL is going to try to play on the opposite side of the map because they don't want to fight right now. Because if you look at like items right now, they're just not going to win a fight. Aria's bot has no TP, has ulti coming up and has no TP. Thanatos has TP. Like, because they just lost the last fight, they just don't want to fight during this timing because Smolder doesn't have 225. He's going to be weak for a while. The biggest mistake they made was when they fought the 4th Drake, or 3rd Drake rather. But this is not like really random. This is us trying to progress the game by getting Herald because we're ahead. And it's them trying to do something on the opposite side of the map, cross-mapping in order to, in order to try to get something back so that they're not just objectively losing. Because if we get Herald, then we're probably going to break mid. Then we're going to be able to have full control. And then as we get full control, eventually somebody is going to die because they just won't have vision and they'll be forced to do something that we'll be able to force them into some type of like objective fight, or we'll just get all the objectives on the map and win, you know? So then like the reason why this is happening, this is not like overforce or like mechanical, like this is just us cross-mapping, like, because they sent 3 bot to kill Thanatos, then Impact should leave this turret.
Oh, shit.
Impact didn't leave the turret. The reason why Impact doesn't leave the turret is because he thinks we're on Herald. We realize, oh, he's actually sitting at this turret. Can't let him catch this wave. So then we get off Herald. So instead of doing Herald, we change the plan. Dive.
His door.
Okay. And then Yuji walks up to try to salvage, and then we are playing on the side because we know that Smolder is bot and APA has no ult, so we feel like we're stronger here.
Okay.
But we don't execute like a really good kill on him. Like there's some bad things here. Like Loki ends up Wing and he gets like knocked away, so he's not able to actually like get the kill here. He was able to get off his spell.
Yuji? Oh,
and then he actually dodges here, gets a Sundered Sky proc, so Loki takes like a ton of damage, and we end up dying here. Like the reason why Loki went forward is he just thought that he wasn't going to be killable because there's no Ahri ult. And yeah, like Smolder's not here, Galio's dead, but it ends up just being a situation where they have Sundered Sky proc and Zin just outplays him a bit.
Okay, I mean, they trade Loki. It's kind of doomed. The Herald.
What I don't understand is he complains about the 5 minutes of Doom, but then when you do something in that 5 minute window to progress the game, then it's like he just says it's random. Like I just don't understand this.
It's not worth losing the game over,
like
but
these are things that you need to do to progress the game.
I think it's gonna be fine. Yeah, go get another drink. Yeah, a lot of these kills just happened by randomness.
Versus a better team, isn't it better to take Herald instead of diving? Hell no. What? You get the turret anyway if you dive and you get a kill.
By the way,
and then you're gonna get the Herald afterwards. Why would you get Herald instead of diving?
Because they were like overforced and like mechanical errors. Like
this is bad. I really dislike this. I really dislike this.
Man.
I think us using flash, like we use flash plus ult for Impact's flash, and now we have no.
Oh my god.
Skarner ult. And this is like situations that happen. It low-key ends up good because we have no flash and Skarner ult. They think that they can fight it, even though they should be giving it 100%. So they probably would have given this Drake
flashes. So,
but because Blabber did this, they're like, oh shit, Blabber fucked up. Maybe we can fight, and then we ace them. So it's like, it ends up being fine.
Now.
Good to go onto UG. Look, okay. Can Janna do this? People that wanted Janna in this game, can Janna do this?
Drake started up, UG into the pit, immediately trying to make this a smite fight. Thanatos over the wall, but now C9's gonna be
just watch Vulcan this entire fight.
Okay. Let's finish the.
Like it's weird because people that like enchanters a lot, they just ignore things like this. Like they're like, oh, Alistar can literally zone 2 carries, zone 3 people for 7 seconds because he's just unkillable with his ultimate, and allow the other people space in the fight to play. Like this is really valuable, right? But why do people pretend like this is that like this is just worse than like a Janna tornadoing or something?
Dragon, okay. They get UG, they get the dragon. I don't know what TL is even trying to do, pretending like they can contest this. Vulcan shouldn't. Well,
this is true. I agree. I mean, so the reason why they did this is because Skarner used flash ulti. So they're like, oh, they're a little bit weaker than they should be. Maybe we can fight.
Does he already have his boots? If he has his boots flashing, there's okay. He'll have, yeah, I mean, he must, right? The game's over.
Recontrol wards in a book. I mean, they needed pinks in this brush, but they didn't need 3, that's for sure.
What would get more action between the Drake spawns? I mean, you have to wonder what Yuji's even trying to fucking do here, by the way, because even if he goes in, it's a suicide mission, and then he would take Galio with him. Like, I don't even know what TL are trying to do, because you can never try to steal the dragon. Because if you go in, you're just going to get R'd by Galio, and then you're both going to die. And it's only the 3rd Drake of the game, right? So it's not even worth, like, losing anything over. APA looks tilted.
100%. 100% they shouldn't fight it. I mean, yeah, 100% they shouldn't fight it. I agree with that.
2 incredible dragons for C9 and it's an Infernal Soul with Corki and fucking Ezreal. Yun plays Samira and Nyla a lot in solo queue. That's cool. They're 2 of the underplayed AD carries that don't get enough attention.
Also, you know what was really funny about like recent innovations to pro play? I'm pretty sure I was like the first real Udyr top player. And then that was just like a mainstay of the meta for like a while. And I think Alice even liked that pick. So it's just, I was just thinking about that. It's like when people are like an innovator, even though I don't think that the only things that I've like been smart about are champion picks, even in terms of champion picks, I've had some champion picks that just like did go viral throughout throughout pro play. You know, I've even had that happen. And like I was playing, like you can go back, like I was the first one to popularize it. I explained, like I talked to a bunch of pro players about why it was good. They started playing it in pro play. Like,
what is Sven doing?
I mean, you know, at the time, one of the first times I started talking to Veigar a lot was about Udyr top in pro play because I was like a really good Udyr top player. He asked me a bunch about Udyr top when Fudge was on the team in spring last year.
By the way, what is he actually doing? Oh, is he just baiting? He's baiting. He's baiting. He's the master baiter. I don't know why Thanatos flashed into the pit. I don't know what he... this is really weird.
He has to flash. I think he has to flash into the pit.
Oh, is he just baiting? He's baiting. He's
Because they have control here, so he obviously doesn't see impact.
baiting.
We don't have
He's
a
the
ward in this brush, right? They have a
master
pink ward in this brush, so he doesn't see impact. And if he gets taunted right here and everyone hits him, and APA is able to just like full go on him with everyone else, like he's just gonna like lose all of his HP. It's good for him to flash into the pit.
I don't know why Thanatos flashed into the pit. I don't know what he.
Because we're strong, right? Like it shouldn't be that easy to kill him once he's in the pit. I mean, if he takes the Galio taunt and he's taking all this damage here, it's significantly worse.
This is really weird. This is really strange. But wait, actually, never mind, dude. What an R. Smolder trying to do what he can. Loki, okay, Vulcan gets at least one more knockup before he ends up dissipating into flames. They somehow dropped Atacon, but they're going to win the fucking fight. I don't even know what Yun's doing, by the way. This game is so over, by the way. This is so NA at fucking...
What's Yun doing? Okay, so we have to drop Otacon because of what happened here. Like, I mean, this wasn't great setup by us, right? We should have better setup. One of the problems here is that we don't spend enough time connecting the Ezreal to the fight. Like, so we should be like playing hard for this control, and then we can start Otacon on any wave essentially. And we should start on a wave where we have actually like removed this pink ward, and we have some vision for Sven so that we can connect our Ezreal to the team. Like, the main problem is that we didn't actually have, there's this gap in vision where Ezreal it's like dangerous for Ezreal to try to connect to the team. So here, instead of starting it, this is something that we have to work on, is we have to play more for the laners here. Like, we can't just start it here because it's a good time for Blabber or whatever. He needs to come here with Vulcan and Sven because they're stronger 3v3. They need to walk in together, Rumble hovers, we get vision control, we remove their pink wards, and then Samira on the next wave, once the Ezreal can connect, then we go.
And Nyla a lot in solo queue. That's cool. They're two of the underplayed AD carries that don't get enough attention. I only know two people in like my day-to-day life that cook really well. One of them is Quest, and then one of them is Autumn.
I don't know what APA did here. This is just like, this is when I felt like they were actually tilted in the series. When I saw this, I'm like, damn, they're actually tilted. Like, the other things were just us being better than them at certain aspects of the game, but this looked like actual tilt.
Holy shitballs.
I don't know, bro. Like, it was weird because in game number 1, I felt like TL was playing pretty well. Like, they weren't giving us many opportunities. They're really disciplined about side lane. Even like the way they played that like second Drake fight that they won versus us, I thought that they were playing really well, and then it just like all fell off a cliff. Like, I feel like TL just has they like lack a confidence they used to have.
Like, what are we doing? We're just so bored, man, aren't we? We're just so fucking bored. Like, what is TL doing? Yeah, I think we can push mid-tier 1 here, actually. I think, I think mid-tier 1's going to give me 112.
I mean, they're not trying to kill the turret, right? Like, they just see, like, this Sven is no cleanse mid, and they're like, oh, Sven is no cleanse mid. This guy is no cleanse mid, and we have numbers here. Let's try to fight something, because they just feel like they're going to lose the game.
In, like, my day-to-day life that cook really well. One of them is Quest, and then one of them is Autumn.
But it's, like, obviously horrible. But I don't think they're trying to kill the turret.
What the fuck are we?
I feel like there's certain things that LS like focuses on that I just feel like are like relatively like, so for example, he has like this thing about tier 1 turret now, where it's like mid-tier 1 turret is good to break if it's going to yield some type of control, but yes, you shouldn't like lose the game over mid-tier 1. But I feel like this doesn't have anything to do with killing mid-tier 1, right? Like, they don't have a wave. They're not trying to kill mid-tier 1. They're just trying to, like, I mean, it's a horrible play by APA. He's just trying to go into Sven because Sven is no cleanse.
What are we saying?
It has nothing to do with the tier 1.
What do I think TL needs to do for game 3? They're not going to draft pure late game scaling, but that's the best thing that they can do. Because obviously these early games and mid games are super slow. But what they should be doing, like this game, I think they actually missed the opportunity to do like the Aurelion Soul Smolder comp type thing.
No, they can't go Aurelion Soul Smolder. No, not with the way the Corki lanes now. Like if they go Aurelion Soul Smolder and then we have Skarner Corki, it's going to be such a problem for them. I mean, maybe they can, to be honest. If they go Aurelion Soul this game, I mean, the idea of this comp is that you don't want to just have full late game scaling and then just like not have winning lanes, because then it's hard to actually scale. So they think that Smolder is going to scale throughout. I thought Smolder was a problem this game. Like, I was a little bit nervous about them having Smolder. So like, they think Smolder is going to scale, and they're supposed to have like winning early mid jungle 2v2, and they should be able to like contest objectives based off that, but they just don't do this well as TL, which is why we're willing to play into this type of stuff. We'll give them Ahri, Xin Zhao. If you give Ahri Xin Zhao to a team like, for example, Hanwha Life, it's going to be a lot more scary, So versus them, we're willing to take these types of gambits because we think our mid jungle is just better, so we'll probably just be ahead. like anyway, but this is a situation where like the whole point of the Ahri Zenjao is supposed to be that they can win mid jungle, so they can either try to go for 2v2s that are positive, or they can move together to side lanes and try to like help the side lanes. They can do stuff in this game, but they just didn't do it correctly.
Neither of the level of these two teams is high enough to where I think that like you need to be concerned with certain things. I think that NA, especially as a region, is a region where you can just force comps, and it's totally fine because of the way that players play. You complain about 5 minutes of doom between Drake and Infected. Can you still cry about team fights for a tier 1 turret? Yeah, I do. Yeah, both can be fucking true. What do you mean, by the way? What do you mean? 5 minutes of doom? Okay, sure, I don't want to see 5 minutes of doom. I also don't want to see fucking 10 people defecating on themselves in like a rundown restroom at a fucking gas station stop. Like, what are you saying?
But the thing is, like, during the 5 minutes of doom, we like forced a herald and then we like dove top, and there was just like action happening. So I mean, I don't even know, like,
man, what? I can have a problem with 5 minutes of doom and also have a problem with the NA Ram. They're both terrible. What? Oh, Enchanterless Zeri. That's my favorite. You have Cole on Tristana. I mean, dude, everything is going about as good as you can for C9. Enchanterless Zeri.
This was not good.
Enchanterless Zeri, Unironic Nocturne. Put the fries in the bag. What?
You know, it's really bad because Gnar had already TP'd, and then like the wave is kind of... The wave is not bad for Thanatos because he ends up going bot here, but the wave was bad for Sven, so Sven got behind off this swap that we did.
First Drake. Of course there's other reasons. Impact? Wait, is Impact... Wait, Maiden? Wait, does he have him? I think he has him. What? Like, what is even going on? It's like everyone's just handshaking it, man. What is happening? Also, Loki should get the kill there, by the way. Gnar is useless.
Yep. Well, Gnar's not a useless champ, but it's just better on Loki.